So far, we have divided Earth's interior into 3 layers: the crust, the mantle, and the core. And those layers were based on the composition, meaning what they're made out of, right? We talked about the different rocks, the different types of material you would find in each of those layers. And that is one way to divide Earth. And that's a very common way to divide Earth. But there's another way that I think is even more useful and more important. And the way that we divide Earth, regardless of composition, right? Kind of forget what the different layers are made out of. And instead, think about how that material can flow. Okay. So some material within the Earth is really rigid, right? Meaning that it bends or it breaks, it cracks, it behaves like a solid, right? It does not flow. And then other materials are more plastic, okay? They can still be a solid, but they're more likely to flow, bend without actually breaking or cracking. Okay, so this is how we divide the Earth based on its rigidity or its ability to flow. And when we do it this way, we divide the Earth into 2 layers, the lithosphere and the asthenosphere. The lithosphere, that's the rigid part of Earth that's on the exterior of Earth, right? Think like rigid rock. It's the outer 100 to 150 kilometers, and it's composed of solid rock that doesn't flow. And it's actually composed of both the crust and the upper mantle. Right? So, right, if we try to think about how these 2 different ways we can break Earth up into layers can be combined, we have the crust, mantle, core, we have the asthenosphere and the lithosphere. And the lithosphere is made up of the crust and the upper mantle, right? Because the upper mantle also, just like the crust, is very rigid. It doesn't flow, it breaks, it cracks. Below the lithosphere, though, as you get deeper into the mantle, then we call that the asthenosphere. That's the portion of the mantle that can actually flow and undergo convection, right? It's so hot, part of it is actually a melt. And so very slowly, rather than cracking or breaking, the material just bends and flows. Right? So this is the asthenosphere.